Hello back, you Tiger fans. Shannon here as always with Hoops and Football. This will be another injury update. This one is a bit more of a sting to it than the regular ones. As we do know, we did lose Toby Nankervis, Tom Lynch during the game against Gold Coast, and we could all probably say with most things we've heard, seen, spoken to people about, once we lost our number one ruckman and our number one forward, structure fell apart, and the young players just couldn't handle the heat from the white-hot Suns. So we've had the bad news about the two old fellas and sort of what their recovery times are going to be. And I warn you now, if you haven't already seen it or jumped online onto the Tiger Facebook page, anything done by Tigers and seen the reports, it's not good news. And more concerning for more the ruck side than the forward side. So I'll talk about that when we get a little bit closer to it anyway. So Samson Ryan is available. I did say that there's a chance that he'd be available. I just don't think he's our fix short-term or long-term. Even if he is available, I don't think he's going to be ready to play AFL level because he's missed a fair bit of the preseason. So he'll have to... I think he needs to play VFL before he can get a chance. But it does say Samson Ryan got through his rehab at this stage, and we're expecting him to have a little bit of game time this weekend. And there's no way you're going to have a little bit of game time at AFL level. To me, that says it's got VFL written all over it. Well, the coaches make the decision of what level he plays at this weekend. I think you can't justify him playing senior level at stage of his return. So that's out of it. So this is where it starts to hurt, and this is where it starts to make me sweat. Where I thought we were in a bit of a good trend of being a bit of a better team this year, not to be winning a large amount of games, but maybe on track to win the same. Toby Nankervis 6 to 8 weeks, so which means that if you get it worse at the 8 week mark, it's roughly around 10. I think we have a bye not long, so he might get back just before the bye, if nothing goes wrong, which is a high chance it could. He's an older player as well, so the recovery might not be as quick. Fingers crossed that it's the average 6 week mark, which would be really nice. It says Toby Nankervis is probably the most serious out of all of them. Oh, that's not a good sign right there. He was a contact injury similar to the mechanics of that Harry Armstrong sustained as a hamstring injury last year, but nowhere near as bad, thankfully. So it's still bad, but not as bad as what we saw from Armstrong, which was like a 12 to 14 week one. Fortunately, that's going to see him out from 6 to 8 weeks. So that one really stings because we don't really... I'd called for it last year in the offseason when we're coming up to find some players like Ned Moyle, Smith from Brisbane, start to bring in young ruckmen that have been in the system for 4 or 5 years from other clubs that are just struggling to get in because they're playing up against another one ruckman. And this would have been the time. They knew this rule was coming in with the no more sub, so you could play an extra ruckman. And Hawks are using it really well as a team with dual ruckman proper positions. You know, St Kilda's doing it as well. And now we don't have a backup ruckman, proper ruckman. We're going to have, I think it's going to have to be Oliver Hayes-Brown. And we're going to see how that goes. We're going up against Fremantle, who will run a Luke Jackson, one of the best ruckman in the competition, and maybe even have Sam Darcy back as well. So they're going to have another ruckman. So they're going to have 2 dominant ruckmans. It's just going to tear us open for the next couple of weeks. So be ready for some bit of pain, in my personal opinion, when it comes to ruck work. Because as good as Oliver Hayes-Brown or Samson Ryan might be, they're not going to be to the standard of what we need to at least mitigate the other ruckman. Tom Lynch, 4 to 5. Yep, disappointing to Tom Lynch. He's not as serious as what Toby Nankervis is, but he'll still be up 4 to 5 weeks. So this would now be... Oh, we all worry about this, saying, hey, can Tom Lynch stay healthy for the year? We need him to. This would now be a position to see what young forwards can step up and seize this opportunity to become the number one ruckman and maybe push towards, hey, boys, we can lean on me now. I'm going to be the future for us. And then this could be the opportunity for Jonty Fall, Harry Armstrong, Liam Fawcett, McKelty the Foul. These 4 will now have to work their asses off, in my opinion, to keep their spot because there will be Liam Fawcett can play forward as well. McKelty, Harry Armstrong, Jonty's back from suspension. So there's going to be a bit of battle off to who's going to come in as well, and which is not the worst thing, but it's not the best thing either as well. So see how we go there. It's nothing wrong with a bit of pressure on your position, and I think this is where we need to see some of these young fellas to step up as well with no Tom Lynch. Yes, I'm sorry. I am crook. I do sound it very, very muchly so. I've just copped whatever my kids had over the weekend, and now it's hitting me. unfortunate, but I'm still here recording, and still here to give out the bit of the news. But before we go any further, could you hit the like and subscribe? Help me get towards 500 subscribers. So we're slowly churning our way there. Now, this one came out today, which I was very surprised. No, Nathan Broad, calf, 1 week. A bit sad. I didn't like to see that. I thought he played good on the weekend. We saw Broad present a calf clinic or injury to the clinic the next day after the game and staying a small calf strain. So we expect him to miss 1 week, which isn't the end of the world. I think that's when you'll see a Gibcus or maybe a Luke Trainer come back into the side, give them a chance to get some games into him as well. And maybe also give Nathan Broad a chance to rest the old body as well, because this is his last year. So this is where, when he's out injured, this is where we're going to see what the future of the backline will look with in the next coming years. Ryan Mansell's still 3 to 4 weeks away. Says the surgery went well. He did some surgical consult this week, and the surgeon would still like to keep him out of playing for another 3 to 4 weeks. So he's technically added another week onto his injury report. And then it says Taj still to be assessed. Has done extremely well. Had a follow-up scan on the hip today. Everything come back positive, and the things are on track for the right direction. We are hopeful that we have some more of a time frame in the next few weeks. That would be good to see. I would love to see Taj back this year at least. Simsy, he's still to be assessed. Should be integrated into training this week. He's progressed quite a bit over the last while hopefully bringing up some footy load over the next while as well. Okay, cool. Sam Cumming is to be assessed as well, progressing his strength training really well. And at the moment, we're anticipating that he'll be joining full training this week. We'll see a few weeks of contact training with him and make an assessment after that. So that's good that we at least see him in some training drills and see how his shoulder holds up. If it doesn't hold up, then it's the surgery, which means it's season done, which is a bit of a bummer. But now they're sort of understanding the process of where everything's going. And Judge and Clark is still to be assessed, so nothing different there. So, unfortunately, it is mostly bad news in this report. That really does suck, but mostly because it hits two of our key pillars and leaderships as well. I mean, that means Tim Taranto actually will have to be the captain now because he was the vice captain. So Taranto will now be captain for 6 to 8 weeks and pretty much the foreseeable future until Nanks returns. So that's it, guys. Unfortunately, sad news, but it is what it is. Stay strong. There's still a long way to go. We did just see North get smashed by West Coast, so that's always good news. We're not as bad as West Coast and Carlton still. All right, guys. Thank you. Until next time, go my Tigers.